Are you trying to get a wide and thick back? Well, let me tell you, it's not an easy thing to accomplish. But in this video, I'm going to break down exactly what you need to do in order to do that. Now, when we talk about the back, we're referring to a lot of different muscles. Those muscles of your back are responsible for a lot of different movements. It's responsible for pulling your shoulder blades down and back. It's also responsible for pulling your shoulder blades down. Okay. And those two functions can develop the muscles very, very differently. So before we even get started about exercises or anything like that, what I have found that has worked best for myself and has worked best for the clients that I work with is training back at least twice a week. I believe that twice a week frequency is ideal when developing the back. Now, the way I break it down, I usually split the back into two areas because your back primarily has 2 to 3 functions. So the first function, and the one that we're not going to cover in this video, is extension of the back. And that's done with like deadlifts, RDLs, those types of movements, hip hinging type movements. So you kind of hit those on leg day, all right? But for the purposes of this video and developing a back that you thick and wide that you can see when you take off your shirt, we're going to be splitting it into 2 days. So I split it into a lat focus day where I'm focusing just on the width of my back. And then I focus the second day on thickness and developing those muscles that are responsible for making your back look thicker. Now, let's talk about lat training day. So on the day that we're focusing on width, we're focusing primarily just on the lat muscles and those muscles that make the wings underneath, okay? Because I really want to isolate those muscles from the other muscles of the back. So the movements that we're going to be doing on this day, we're talking 2 to 3 exercises that put tension just on the lats. So me in particular, I love the one arm pull down. I really think that's effective and better than a lat pull down for developing just the lat portion of the lats. So again, I'll pick 2 to 3 exercises that put a lot of tension on that area, and I will hammer those exercises. I will really, really place a lot of tension on the lats on those days, with the goal being to get my lats as sore as possible. Okay, so that's one day. Now, on the second day, I focus on thickness. And during this day, I'm focusing on hitting the wide movements. So it's kind of the opposite of what I'm trying to do on the lat pull day. On the lat day, I'm really trying to focus on keeping my elbows tucked in close so I can really hammer the lats. On the wide day and the thickness day, I'm focusing on keeping my elbows away from my body and fully squeezing. So this day, I'm aiming to hit my rhomboids, my rear delts, my low and middle traps. Again, those muscles of the upper back to give you that thickness and 3D look from the back. It's one of those when you take off your shirt and people look at you from the back, there's a lot of detail back there. And that's what we're trying to achieve with this day. So I like to pick, again, 2 to 3 movements here, wide rows. So I like a wide cable row, a barbell row done wide, a braced row done wide. Again, main purpose is getting my elbows out and away from my body so I could focus on just squeezing. So on the first day of the week, I'm bringing the weight in close to my body and I'm really trying to squeeze on the lats. And on the second day, I'm trying to bring my elbow away and I'm trying to retract more of my shoulder blades. Okay. So the reason why I'm trying to do that is because it hits those different areas. So when you're asking me, well, what's a lat focused movement? Is it just pull downs? Well, no, you can do certain movements in different ways to achieve both of this. So for example, on a lat pull day, I can do barbell rows on that day, keeping my elbows close in and really focusing on retracting my shoulder blades and keeping my elbows tight into my body. And that, when you do that, you'll primarily hit your lats when you do that. Yes, you will hit some of those other areas because there is overlap, but you're going to hit mostly lats. So when I do barbell rows with hands in close, I feel it mostly as a lat movement. I really don't feel the other muscles taking over. But if I want to use a barbell row for thickness day, I'll put my hands wider, I'll bend over a little bit further, and I'll just focus on retracting my upper portion of my back. So you can do a barbell row in different ways. So that's why I like to break this up, because some people feel barbell rows more in the upper back and some feel them more in the lats. So you can categorize that movement into 2 different areas. Same thing with a lot of things. You could do a pull down, and the way you do a pull down can be more of a thickness based movement. Now, I know what you're thinking. Well, part of the back and part of that detail is going to be your traps. So what do you do for traps? When do you do traps? I always like to do traps and rear delts on these pull days. So if I'm doing a lat focus day, I'll do my lat exercises and then I'll do something for traps and then I'll do something for rear delt. And the reason why I like to do that is because these muscles are also worked during this time. A lot of people will put traps and rear delts on push day. So, or if they're doing shoulders, they kind of tack those on there. But these muscles are responsible for a lot of the pulling that we're doing. So when I do a pull day, so a lat focus day or a lat thickness day, I'm focusing everything posterior. So everything that I can't see, I'm doing all in one day. And again, because these muscles are recruited whenever you're doing these things. So at the end of those, the lat day or the thickness day, I always tack on my trap work, and then I do my thickness movements for my rear delts. I really like cable pull aparts. I think those are really good for the rear delts, building up that thickness and detail of the back. And again, that just hits more of those rhomboid type areas and more of that detail that you're trying to bring out in that lower trap area. So when you take off your shirt, people look at you and say, wow, that guy really knows how to train. That guy's really jacked. And if you're a competitive bodybuilder, the saying goes, shows are won from the back. All right. So that's how you develop a world-class V-tapered back. So if you're confused about how to train any other body part, all you got to do is click that link below in the description, and I'll give you a free 6-week training program. No strings attached. I just want to help you to avoid all the mistakes that I made along my 20-year journey in this. All right. This was Anthony, AB Fitness, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.